Hello, hello, hello. What's up, y'all? What's up? It's your girl, Sharita, the Behavior and Literacy Strategist, coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute, where you can find solutions for both your child's behavior and literacy challenges. How are y'all doing today? I have a good one for you. And it's about, and this is a message to moms, okay, about trusting the process. So, you have an amazing child who's in a difficult spot, behaviorally and academically, or academically, and it's causing stress. It's affecting your child's self-esteem. You've been dealing with it for a while. You feel stuck, right? And then you put a plan in place, right? You put a plan in place to improve your child's behavior, focus, and or literacy from home. Now, when you put a plan in place, what's going to happen next is when you start to work the plan, you're going to start to see some growth, some changes, right? If it's a customized plan, okay, you're going to start to see some growth and some changes. But there's also going to be some bumps and bruises along the way. I know this from personal and professional experience, okay? Some days it's not going to go the way that you plan. Some days it's not going to look too good. Some days, you're going to go a couple steps back. Sometimes your child is going to be progressing, and all of a sudden they're going to start doing old stuff that you thought they were done with, right? Some days are going to be hard. I'm here to tell you that some days are going to be hard. And I want to encourage you to trust the process, okay? And I'm going to give you four things that I want you to keep in mind and do while you are on your growth journey. Your child is on their growth journey, okay? Number one, believe in the outcome that you desire, okay? No matter what you want your child to accomplish, believe that that's actually going to happen, first of all. So you may have to change your mindset. You may have to change your language. If you're saying, hopefully, with this plan we put in place, this is going to happen, you got to take out hopefully. It's like, oh, this going down, okay? So take out hopefully. Don't say might and I wish, or that would be nice. Instead of thinking and talking like that, you straight up with it. Be saying, we got this, and I know my child is going to be successful. I know that this is working. I see that this is working. You have to talk about it like it's definitely working out. Everything is working out for you, okay? And for your child. So that's number one. You have to believe in the outcome that you desire, okay? Number two, don't get caught up in a moment. If your child is acting up in a moment, giving you a hard time in a moment, wanting to give up, getting frustrated because they don't want to read, and trying to aggravate you so that they can get out of reading, or doing chores, or whatever you're trying to do, understand that that's also part of the process. Yeah, it definitely is. That's also part of the process. So when your child starts doing that, don't get caught up in a moment. What does that mean? We're all guilty of it. And we get frustrated and we start yelling back at them. Now, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying, like, when I say we're guilty of it, I'm not saying this is blaming moms and that mom guilt, because we can't afford to do that. We got to drop that mom guilt if we're going to see success and see our child become successful along the way. We can't waste time and energy feeling guilty and feeling like everything is our fault, okay? So I don't mean that. What I mean is, it's easy to get roped in, okay? It's easy. You're trying to cook, and the kids supposed to be doing their homework, and the phone rang, and you trying to answer the phone. You got a bunch going on. Everybody wants your attention at the same time. Everybody asking you stuff, and they ask you for food, even though food is cooking on the stove, right? All kind of stuff kids do, right? And then during that time when you got a bunch of plates spinning, your child may try to test. Your child may try to get all the attention focused on themselves. So they might try to fight whatever I don't want to do my homework right now. I don't want to do it. I need help, without even looking at it, right? It's easy to get frustrated when you got all that going on. And what I'm saying is, design a plan for yourself so that you don't get caught up in a moment, Okay? So when your child wants to get out of doing their homework, wants to get out of reading by themselves, and they start doing their stuff that they do, you can stay in your space where you are right now. And when you're doing that, you are providing a strong foundation so that your child, it bounces off of you back onto them. And what I mean by that, their responsibility. So if they don't want to do what you're telling them to do, and they can get you frustrated and worked up, then they have taken the responsibility off of them and thrown it into your lap. Okay? And then you getting frustrated, you may start hollering, and next thing you know, you're over there helping them with it. So you don't end up doing that. Just have a plan for it. What are you going to do when your child starts to push back, when they start to act out, when they're not listening? Because this is just momentary. This is temporary. This is what's going on right now. But it's going to be over soon. When I was having my toughest times, I used to time. I used to time it. I'm like, this is, standoff moment, okay? Or I'm not going to listen, or I'm not going to give in, or I'm not going to, and I could feel myself feeling frustrated, but then I remind myself this is temporary. So then I ask myself, how long is this going to take before it changes? 5 minutes? Okay, 5 minutes. I look at the clock. That's what I'm focused on. I'm not focusing on what's being said in a moment, my triggers, or what my child is trying not to do and not to listen to. I know that this is what I decided, what the decision was, and I know that she's going to listen to it. She's just trying to get out of it right now. She's just trying to see how I'm going to respond. So I'm not going to respond at all. I'm just going to wait 5 minutes. And then with me being silent, and with the interaction kind of going down, everything deflating, next thing you know, 3 minutes have passed, not even 5. I gave myself 2 extra minutes, and now everything has settled down. So there's all kind of ways to prepare yourself and to help you cope with in the moment, so you cannot end up changing what you said, moms, not giving in, not going over trying to do it for your child, whatever it is they're trying to get out of. Not get to a point where you're yelling and screaming, right? Because you're so frustrated. There's so many things that we're human. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many things that we can do for ourselves to take care of ourselves in a moment, so that we don't end up getting all wrapped up in the moment of the behavior. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 1, believe in the outcome that you desire. That's in that moment too. Like, you like, okay. And I used to do this as a mental health specialist too, when kids used to throw tantrums in the classroom or the group room, trying to throw stuff, and then I had to snatch them up out of the room and bring them into the quiet room, close the door so that they can't destroy anything or hurt themselves or others, and they had to calm down. And I would sit there quietly waiting for them to calm down on their own and self-regulate, self-soothe. And then we discussed, there were some questions that I asked them. We discussed what happened, and they had to put it back together like Humpty Dumpty, okay? So that they can come back to the group room, okay? So what was I doing for myself in the moment so that I didn't get triggered by the yelling, the trying to kick the wall, or trying to curse, saying things that they shouldn't say, and trying to insult me and all that other stuff. This is my job, you know what I mean? So I had to keep my cool. You understand what I'm saying? So there's all kinds of things, but just understand in the moment, whenever a child is not listening, or this is I should do a whole live on this part right here. A lot of people don't even pay attention to this. In the moment when a child is pushing back, not listening, trying to trigger, or being defiant, right? They may even be cursing. I mean, whatever it is, right? In the moment, there are 2 people who need to be taken care of. The child, they have needs in that moment that needs to be met. Okay? And a lot of it has to do with them gaining control of themselves. Okay? And then calming down so that they can express their feelings in an appropriate way. But the mom has feelings, has needs in that moment too. And a lot of times what we end up doing is we focus everything on the child, and then the mom is going through all of this, and we don't focus on what mom needs too. We focus on the child in the moment, and then we criticize mom and tell mom what she should have done, what she should have. Okay, we need both mom and child in the moment. What does the child need to go from A to B? What does mom need in the moment so that she can go from A to B, so that she doesn't contribute to or escalate the situation, right? We need both. Hello, Nisha. Nice to see you, girl. Welcome, or Nisha. Let me know which one it is. A for Nisha and B for Niger. Talking about just trusting the process. And I was talking about something that I really want to do a whole live on. And that is making sure that in the moment we are not only thinking about the child when the child is misbehaving or throwing a tantrum, right? And they're trying to get out of doing things. We're not only thinking about the needs of the child in the moment, but we're also thinking about the needs of mom in the moment. What does the child need so that they can get from A to B? What are they running away from? Why they're acting out in the first place? When it's time to do homework, it's because the homework is too difficult for them. And they got to learn how to read better, spell better, right? Or sometimes kids acting up because of an event that just happened, right? Maybe they thought they were going to go somewhere and they disappointed and it didn't work out, so they're acting out. So we are really good at asking those questions and figure out in a moment why is the child acting up. We don't always know 100%, and that's something that we can figure out and grow in the moment. But a lot of times what gets neglected is so we want to know what's going on with the child in the moment. What does the child need, right? So that they can de-escalate. But number two is what does mom need in the moment? Okay? Because it's very difficult when your child is throwing a tantrum, yelling, crying top of their lungs, and you might have been dealing with this all day, or it's the same thing every day for this particular situation. What does mom need in the moment? Okay? So a lot of times when I'm talking about trusting the process of your child growing and getting to the next level, until they've accomplished the goals that you've set out, okay? A lot of moms, the trusting in the process gets broken down when there's a lot of resistance from the child. When the child is, their child is kind of regressing, going backwards. They could be doing good. You can see some progress, and then one day they just throw a huge tantrum. Or they're doing better in school, and then you find out that they have a whole bunch of assignments that's missing. They told you they were doing it, but they weren't. Okay, right? So trust in the process means that in the moment when things are going down, not getting caught up. That's number two. Don't get caught up in the moment. That's just what's going on right now. Figure out a plan for when your child does it, because children have patterns of behavior. Every time my child does this is my plan for their structure and to be consistent. But here also is the plan for me to take care of myself in a moment so that I don't blow over like a leaf and just give up or give them what they want. Okay? So that's number two. Number one was believe in the outcome you desire. Like the outcome that you want is definitely going to happen. That's how I feel about my kids, and that's how I feel about my students. Whatever's going down with my own kids, and I know this is not growing them, this is not serving them, this is not something that's good for them, it's actually holding them back or causing problems. I'm like, no, this got to get taken care of. Under no circumstances are we going to continue like this. Okay? And this is what they need instead. And then I believe in that outcome 100%. In the same way with my students. I can see with my students when I'm working to improve their reading or their writing or spelling or math, I can see what's actually holding them back academically and what's actually holding them back behaviorally in the moment. So when I put a plan together, there's no way that I'm thinking that it's not going to work. It's just when it's going to work. We're just going to keep riding this thing till the wheels fall off, okay? That's how it works. So believe in the outcome you desire, number one. Number two, don't get caught up in the moment. Don't let them catch you slipping. Don't let them catch you slipping. And if they do, you got to take a break afterwards and take care of yourself and get yourself together. You don't have time for feeling guilty. That mom guilt will slow you down and mess everything up for real. So if you start to feel like that, it's like, all right, no, I didn't handle that the best way. I'm in a moment, that's the best I could have done with everything that I got going on. But I caught myself. And now next time I will do this. There's always room for growth. Okay? Number three. This is probably the biggest, most important part. Relax. Why I say this is the biggest, most important part? Because most moms don't know how to relax. Most moms don't know how to relax, okay? And I know we talk about self-care all the time, but I'm talking about too, relaxing and enjoying the process, but when knowing when to walk away, you know what I mean? Knowing when to not worry about it. Okay? Understanding, number one, that whatever the outcome you desire is going to happen. In the moment, you don't have to work so hard. And the more you work, and this is what I help my moms talk to my moms about, and I help them with, and definitely put more responsibility on my students. A lot of times we don't realize the more we work, the less they work. The more we try to fix their problem all the time, every day, trying to fix the same problem, the least amount of time they have to think and come up with their own solutions. So I put it on the students and the kids. Like, what do you think about what happened? What do you think about that outcome? What do you think you could have done instead? What will you do next time? How you gonna fix this? Right? So it's not easy for moms to step back, see our kids making mistakes or the wrong choices, and then just not say anything. That's so hard for us moms. But think about it. Have you said something on this topic before? Have you been telling your child about this the whole time? Is it like when I was growing up, my grandmother used to say, in one ear and out the other, right? If that's the case, guess what? Your child is equipped to make the right choice. They just haven't made it yet because you're always there, cleaning it up, fixing it, telling them what to do, right? Relax. The other thing is, if we're all wound up about it and stressed about it, that energy, it just keeps going, and that also enables the behavior to keep going. But when we relax and we have total confidence that what we put in place is going to actually work out, that's a whole new flex. The kids looking at us like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I actually have to do this now because my mom is not going crazy about it. I have to do this. I have to read this word. I have to do this work on my own. My mom is busy doing something else that she likes. She done went in the living room and put her feet up, drinking herself a cup of coffee or some tea, right? She watching her show. You know, she doing something that she likes. She baking something. She was saying that she been wanting to bake this new recipe for this cake for weeks, and she in there doing it. And if I wasn't acting up, I could be in there with her. You understand? Relax. Enjoy yourself. Do not make your child's behavior and academic challenges 80% of your life. Do not make, no, don't do that. Create an environment, a growth environment, and a more relaxed environment. In a moment, this is your responsibility. This is what you have to do. I'll be back to check on you to see how good you're doing. Right now, I got to go do this for me. When I come back, I want to see X, Y, and Z. Okay? And what are you going to be doing? I always ask moms that. What are you going to be doing when your child is sitting down doing their work? What are you going to be doing? Hey, Tiff. Hello, sis. Welcome back. We'll talk about trust in the process. because I haven't seen any kids that I have worked with, I have spent time with, and they've gone through this process, not be successful in the other end, on the other end, not grow, not be successful, not improve their reading, their writing, their spelling, not improve their behavior, have less tantrums. I have not seen it. And that's because I trust the process and I don't give up until it's done. So moms, high five to you too, sis. Moms, trust in the process. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than we expected, but it's not even about that. No, I'm going to take that back. It's not about it taking longer than what we expected. It's that we want it right now. Like, I meet moms and moms tell me what their issue or the biggest challenges are. Like, we have this, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And then when their child is doing it, like, see, that's what I'm talking about, right? And then it could still be on the, see, that's what I'm talking about, see, that's what I'm talking about, see, that's what I'm talking about. Next week, still saying that. Next week, still saying that. Next week, still saying that. If you trust the process in the beginning and just sit back and wait and put, everything get put in place and watch, you'll see growth, right? Most of the schoolwork is online. Tiffany, I was just doing a consultation with a young man who was talking about that. He was telling me, because when I work with my students, there are no calculators. There's no spell check. They better not looking at phone trying to figure out how to spell that word. No, it's all nitty gritty and it's pencil and paper. Okay? Even though I'm online. My kids have to write and they have to look at their papers. They take pictures of the page that they're writing and they text it to me, right? And he was saying, he want to be able to spell better. In school, if he starts to type in a word, it spells it for him. Okay? Kids really do want to, even though they fight, when they start to see where their mistakes are with their spelling and with their writing, and they start to learn strategies on how to do better, they actually want to spell better. So, moms, we have a challenge that we know our kids, when they are doing school, they have a lot of assistants. It used to be just assistants, like an aide in the classroom, but the way everything is done on a computer, they have a lot of assistants. We have to ask ourselves, are they growing? Are they really getting better at spelling? Are they getting enough practice? Do they have to think and figure it out? If that's not the case, when we have them at home, we got to take those training wheels off and let them struggle, right? Tiffany says, how I stay on it when I can't go back to school and look at it, right? So that's a good question. That's why I always said, like, kids need two teachers. They need teachers at school and they need mom teachers at home. So customizing a plan for our kids at home, whatever our kids don't know, they will know. We have to, first of all, we got to think that. Whatever they don't know, they will know. And you are his mom, so you have the right to say, this is what I want my child to know, and this is how I want them to learn it. And then erase everything else. And for this time, when they're home with you, this is how mommy teaches. Man, you know how many times my daughter say, but in school, they don't make you write down the question. I'm not in school. I'm at home. Good readers are good writers. Good writers are good readers. Reading comprehension improves dramatically when my students have to write the question and the answer is multiple choice. Write it down. Because you're not really paying attention to it. You're just skimming through it. But if you have to write it, you got to slow down and pay attention to detail. And every letter better be copied correctly. Okay? So it's customized, whatever your child wants. So that's what I would say, Tiffany. Staying on it. We don't have control over what they do in school. But what we do at home dramatically can improve their performance in the classroom. That's what the whole Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute is about. We improve our children's behavior, focus, literacy, and math from home so that we can make a great impact in the classroom. Okay? Right. So we got number one, for the trust in the process. Number one, believe in the outcome you desire. Number two, don't get caught up in the moment. It's just temporary. They just wilding right now. It doesn't mean anything. It's still what you said. It's still what you put together. Your structure is still good. They're just responding to it. And that's kind of natural. That actually naturally happens, right? So think about it like a hamster. Well, they're in there, they're hamster in the cage, and they're running around. After a while, they're gonna get tired. That's how I look at it. Number 3, relax and take care of yourself. Relax. Don't worry. Don't worry. Right now, my child is reading below grade level. I'm not gonna worry about it because I know right now that's temporary. That's just today. I see too many kids improve their reading and read on or above their grade level to think that that's just how it is for children. That's just today. I'm not going to worry about it. Don't worry about it. Put a plan in place and be confident in your outcome that they're going to read and function at or above their grade level because that's what you want, right? So that's what you focus on. You don't focus on the worry. You focus on where y'all headed and where y'all going to get anyway, regardless, right? Okay, and then let me throw another one in there. Tiffany helping me out right now. I'm gonna throw another one in there. Okay, so this is number 4. This is number 4, created by Tiffany. Number 4 is customize your child's plan, academic plan, or behavior plan. Customize it. Trusting in the process. When people have general plans, or they say generally for kids with this problem, this is what we do. I'm never like that because it's not customized. It's not specific enough. Okay, so this works for this is what we do for the kids with this issue, and this works for about 60% of our kids. What about the rest of the 40%? They must succeed. So some kids need this, but even those kids that they respond well to 60%, are they developing mastery? Okay, everybody needs their own customized plan. We need to look, and this is the advantage of moms. Like, whatever my child gets, this is what they do. This is how they handle it. This is how my child reads. This is how my child spells. My child always forgets the S at the end of the word. My child cannot pronounce STR. My child cannot, you understand what I'm saying? So it has to be customized. And when you develop a customized plan for your child, of course you're going to trust in the process, because it's like every single issue my child has, it has a plan that goes along with it. So I know it's going to be successful, right? Thank you, Tiff. Customizing. Okay? So number 1 is believe in the outcome you desire. Number 2, don't get caught up in the moment. Number 3, relax and take care of yourself. During the moment, right after, if they catch you slipping, you got to have a plan for how you're going to get back, how you going to get your footing back, okay? Because we're not perfect. Sometimes things happen. And number 4 is customize the plan. And then number 5, the new number 5, because Tiffany gave us number 4, celebrate the many successes. Let me tell you, when you put a plan in place, you put a customized plan in place, you trust an outcome, and you take care of yourself, and you don't let them have you in the house looking crazy. Right? Looking crazy, right? We all been there, right? When you do that, you start to see many successes, and this helps too, because when things get tough, when your child starts to regress or they start to push back, it's easy to focus on what they're doing that's not what we want. It's not what you want. This is what they've been doing for years. You keep telling them over and over, and they still doing the same thing. They're not listening, right? Understand that that's a lot of energy. That's creation. That's a lot of energy that's going towards what they're not doing or how they messed up. And when kids use that, when they start becoming successful and they get scared and they start to approach it. I've seen kids do this even with spelling words. Oh my gosh. Have a list of spelling words and I'm quizzing them. And the first 3 they are doing pretty good and they feel confident in, they start spelling the rest of them wrong. And it's obvious that they're spelling them wrong. And I've been paying attention. So it's obvious that they spell them wrong, because every time they spell a new word, it like oh my gosh, I got the last 3 right. Am I going to get this next one right too? It starts to become too nerve-wracking. So they're like, let me just mess it up on purpose so I don't have to worry about it. Okay? So this is all kind of things that happen. So it's easy. So that means that you got wrapped up in their self-sabotage. Okay? So you got to make sure that when they start doing this, the negative stuff, the regressing stuff, that get a little bit of attention. You get them right back on track. We don't do that. We don't do that no more. This is what we do. Get to it. I don't want to hear it. We don't do that no more. This is what we do. I want it like this. I want it like this. I want it like this. I'll be back. I'm going to check, and this is what I want to see. Get them right back on. The alternative is when they start, all the emotions that you've been dealing with this for this whole time flares up. Because it's all that I've been telling you this over and over again. You're not listening. No matter how hard I try, so you're trying too hard and they're not trying hard enough, right? No matter how hard I try, no matter what I do, I've done this, and it's still the same problem. All of that gets dredged back up. We don't want to hold on to that. We want to take that and toss it out the window. That's no longer my life. This is what I want. This is the outcome that I want. So guess what? Whenever my child does something that triggers those feelings or those thoughts, or resembles anything that we don't want, that we're trying to eliminate, we're not going to focus so much on eliminating that in a moment. We're just going to redirect them, and we're going to focus and give a lot of attention to when they do a good job, because that's what we want. The more we talk about the good job, the more that they'll do good. Okay? All right? The more that we talk about the other stuff, they trying to sabotage anyway. They trying to get negative attention. They trying to avoid it. We just jump right in that pot with them and then just keep going. So that means we're not trusting the process, because now we're wrapped up in it, and eventually we're going to feel this is not going to work. And that's what they feel already. They're not going to have confidence in it yet. We're going to have confidence, and they're going to learn from us and help them build their confidence. Okay? So that's why it's so important to celebrate the mini successes. When you start to celebrate the mini successes, and I go nuts when we trying to sound out a word and everything, and it's not easy. I'm like, nope, try again. Nope, do this. What about that sound? Look at the middle of the word. All the things that I'm doing to make them focus on. Then they get the word. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. You go, girl. Ooh, you a super reader up in here. All right, come on, let's go. And I get them right back on it, right? So that happens first. Now imagine there's a child and then imagine this is you and your child. And the child is nervous about reading. The child is used to getting it wrong, and they want to give up 1,000,000 times, but you didn't let them. When they get through it and you celebrate, that's a mini success. That's just a word. When you celebrate and lose your mind, now they start to feel it, okay? And that reminds me of a student. I did it live last night because I was so excited about what just happened. But one of my students, she's 6 years old, and she was struggling a lot with letter sounds, identifying some letters, or differentiate between capital and lowercase. Some kids I have to start from scratch with them and start from the basics. So she's learning sight words. She learned her letter sounds. She's learning how to put them together to form words. So, and I'm saying learning, she's getting better, but she's already started learning and she's starting to improve. So now, this is big time. We were doing mini books together. She was doing good. Now, I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to go online and pull up some random article, okay? A story. I was looking for an African folktale, because I told you I was going to be teaching Black history throughout the year now, not just in February. So I wanted to teach them about African storytelling. So my girl was ready. Pull up the story, and I told her, I said, some words in here are going to be words that you're going to read. Some words are going to be words that I'm going to read. So the words that I know that she knows or she's come across before that we practice, that's her word. And some words that she hasn't learned before, but they kind of small enough. They're like 2 syllables, maybe 3. And, you know, I help her with breaking each part up. She's learning how to decode words. She's learning a lot. Okay? So here we go. We're going through it and everything. We're practicing reading. She's doing good. Every time she reads a word, she's like, she gets so excited every time she reads a word. Then out of nowhere, she start singing. She's like, I'm like, you go, girl, you got it. You got that word. That's what I'm talking about. And all of a sudden, she's like, I got loyalty inside my DNA. Yeah, I lost it. And every time she read a word, my girl started singing that song, dancing, rapping to it, put her hand up here. I was like, yes, girl. Then I was singing it with her. And we were having a ball, okay? So talk about celebrating many successes. Now, what I always talk to you about, when kids get self-motivated, look out. Look out, okay? Tiffany said, yes, all year. That's right, all year. Because we can't really celebrate Black History or learn enough. Our kids can learn enough in 1 month, and we taking over the whole year. But yeah, Tiff, she was rapping. I was cracking up. Oh my gosh. But that's self-motivation. What made her think of that song to celebrate reading those words? I don't know. But I was loving it. And we were having a good time. Every single time she read it, I got loyalty. Then she started really breaking it down. I got loyalty inside my DNA. I was like, you go, girl. We having a good time. Good time. Celebrate those many successes. Now, how does she feel about reading? This is the same girl that when I was working with her before her letter sounds and working with her to form words, at first, it was so difficult for her. She would press that mute button. She would turn her camera off. Okay? And then I had, come on back. They lose points for doing that, right? A lot of people be worried about virtual learning. Saying my child don't sit right. They need somebody one-on-one. Virtual learning won't work. But it does. Of course, in the beginning, when they're trying to run away from stuff, it's easy. But I put it together so that after a while, they get out of that. And then now they are the whole time sitting down. The whole time not muting. The whole time their camera is on. Participating, doing what they have to do. So don't get discouraged about virtual learning. It's the way you do it. Okay? So if she could come from there and struggling and trying to run away from it to now singing that song, look. Look now. Trust in the process. The transformation is definite. The transformation is definite. What's that in my... Sound like someone's playing in my phone in the background. Yes, the transformation is absolutely definite. Whatever you want your child to accomplish, you focus on that. Not on what they're doing in the moment. Not on what they're doing to get away from it. Get out of it. Not if they're really good and like, I'm going to aggravate the mess out of mommy today so that she say, forget it. Just go in your room. Or forget it. Just, here. Sit down, and the next thing you know, you're next to them doing it with him. Right? That's all normal. Don't worry about that. Worry about it at the end what it looks like. I'll tell you what it looks like. My homegirl last night, rapping and celebrating. My 8th grader who is a special education was reading on a kindergarten grade level and had to work and master his sight words and finally did it. And so excited. And now he's reading articles with me. Okay. What else does it look like? My students getting on the honor roll. Okay. Spelling words that they didn't know or mastering their multiplication. Of course this is going to happen. Of course. It tell you something. Of course. It's not like my child, no, because my child, no, your child just needs a customized plan for them. Tiffany says at school the teacher takes his conference away when he gets something wrong. His conference, is that the right word? He takes his confidence away when he gets something wrong. Let me know what you mean. Yes, and the thing is, a lot of kids are afraid of failure. They're afraid of getting it wrong. So they have to form a new relationship with getting it wrong. At the Workout Limited Growth Institute, we get stuff wrong every day. We don't care about that. We keep going till we get it right. You know what I mean? So my students expect to get it wrong. They're not worried about if they get it wrong and that's the end. And that's the thing. Like, if they get it wrong and then that's the end, they just got it wrong. Or that's teaching in the classroom. I never gave my students tests and then just crossed out what they got wrong and gave it back to them, and then that was that. We always reviewed afterwards and so they could see, how did I get it wrong? What was it supposed to be instead? Oh man, I forgot the E. That's what happened. You know what I mean? So even if kids forget, even if they get something wrong, they appreciate figuring it out and knowing what they could have got. So it's like they turned it from wrong to right. Oh, I know it now. Oh man, I forgot the A. There's an A right there. Oh, So getting stuff wrong is not a problem. We have to teach our kids how to push past failure to get to success. And whatever success is, we get in there regardless. We don't, you know what I mean? So we're not worried about getting wrong right now. We get there regardless. And I tell my students too, you know how many things, I'm getting a message. I'll get right back to her. You know how many things I done messed up in my life? I know how to bake cakes from scratch, but when I was younger and I baked the cake, it came out flat. And everybody in the house was cracking on me, talking about it's more like a pancake and everything, okay? And you know how many cakes I messed up? I told my students that it's all right to get stuff wrong. I mess up stuff all the time. I'm like, that wasn't supposed to work out like that. Let me do that again. Or let me try it again next time. But let me try to, I finally got it. So that is that's a growth process. And that is the process of setting and hitting goals. Okay? Confidence. Yes. Okay. Confidence. Pointing it out in the front of the class. I understand. Yeah. So when he, and that's the thing, like it has to become part of the process to get stuff wrong. And they have to have another chance. I have a bunch of strategies that I use with my students where they are looking at the word or whatever we're doing and they are trying it, and either I'm having them go again and they're eliminating certain things. I'm teaching them how to figure out how to eliminate certain things to get to the right answer. Or I have all my students, I have 4 in a group and everybody get a chance and I just keep going. Nope. Something simple that will help me describe this process I'm talking about is when I say, all right, who want to read first today? And they all raise their hands. So I say, I'm thinking of a number between 11 and 20. And then I start asking each of them a number and they get all into it. And they all saying a number. I'm like, nope, next, nope, next, nope, next, nope. Everybody's getting into it. They all getting it wrong. I do the same thing when it's like, what's this missing letter or whatever it is. They all getting it wrong. They're not worried. They just like, wait, if they're thinking. When it comes to my turn, I got to think of a different number. She said this, let me think of this. You know what I mean? And let me look and let me figure it out. Right? So then when a person gets it, I'm like, ding, ding, ding. And then that person is happy. The other one's like, oh, but they're not upset. They're not embarrassed. But it's the same thing with anything. When you're teaching anything, everybody got to be yelling out answers. Everyone has to participate. Everyone has to read aloud. And we're going to keep getting it until we get it right. Or when I have them team up against me. Okay? They work as a team. They all working together. They have to defeat me by solving this very difficult word puzzle. And I talk a lot of junk. And I have words in my head for days that they never heard of. You know what I mean? So, and then they all working together and they all band together. And then, like I think it was last week or the week before, they call a little conference themselves so that they can strategize and figure out this word so that they could beat me. I'm like, since when y'all start doing that? Wait a minute, okay? So it's nothing wrong with getting stuff wrong. It's all about keep going till we get it right. There's growth, there's learning, there's excitement, there's motivation. to everything. So everybody has to participate. So that eliminates kids. And then, of course, if somebody get it wrong, can't nobody talk junk. We don't play that. If somebody try to read a word and they can't read it, or they're struggling a little bit, everybody has to slow down and be quiet and wait patiently. And encourage. One of the success rules for the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute is encourage your peers. So we don't play that making fun of people when we don't even think like that. Okay, because we all encourage. We want everybody to succeed. Okay, so that's I think the environment. A lot of kids being afraid to raise their hands and answer because they're scared to get it wrong is a problem. It shouldn't be there. They should never feel that way. And if they do in the beginning when they first come to me, we gonna fix that, because they have to always go after it, even if they're gonna get it wrong, and they're gonna keep going until they reach success. All right. So that's to celebrate the many successes. So we get it wrong every day, and we also lose our mind and celebrate every day. Every day. When somebody gets it right, when somebody figures it out, when they all figure it out together, you know what I mean? And they all discuss together and talk to see what their answer is. What's your answer? What's my answer? And I think this is my answer. I think this is the answer, because they have to talk about it. They have to figure it out. So that's a growth and achievement environment, which I love talking about. Okay. All right. So, moms, trust in the process. Know that it's going to, and that's number one, believe in the outcome that you desire. But the only way you're going to believe in the outcome that you desire, well, that's the first thing you got to do, right? Like, I know this is what I want, it's going to happen. Nothing else to talk about. You got to be a little cocky with it, a little, extra confident, right? That's number one. And, of course, you're going to trust in the process, because at the end, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Or as Maya said about 2 weeks ago, there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? So you just going to go. The process is the process. The process is the process. You're going to trust in it, okay? Number two, don't get caught up in a moment. When it is a tough moment, it's just temporary. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what your child is complaining about. They don't know better. They don't see the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They don't know how it's going to turn out. You do. So if you get wrapped up in their behavior cycle and what they're creating in the moment, that means that you have gone down to their level. And we're not going to go down to their level. We're going to stay up here. And they are going to rise up to our level. Okay? We're going to pull them up. This is how we operate now. Number three, relax. Don't worry. Put a smile on your face. Chillax. Put your feet up. Have some tea. Laugh. Okay? Laugh. You know what I mean? Keep smiling. Keep happy. Right? Because two people frowning creates more of the same stuff. And this is something, I'm not saying judgment. It's not, no, I'm a mom. And I understand how hard this is. But I also understand when I'm able to do this, how much better it is for my kids and also my students. Okay? Those are my babies too. And then Tiff gave us customize the action plan to your child. It has to be specific for your child. We don't do general here. We don't do methods that everybody else is doing. We do specifically what our children need based on what they're doing, what we want to accomplish, and also us too, our style. Tiffany said, is there a time limit to work on one goal? Now I'm going to quote my oldest daughter, Jazzy. Jazzy said this when she was like 6 years old. I keep saying I'm going to make a t-shirt with this. And I'm just going to do it. Stop talking about it. Do it till it's done. She said this when she was 6, and I love it. Do it till it's done. We always, no matter what the goal is, it's going to get accomplished. And if you set a goal, Tiffany, that you feel like your child needs to accomplish, okay? Oh, that's what that is. Hold on a second. Yes. If you set a goal to that you feel like your child needs to accomplish, it's non-negotiable. This is what's going to happen. If you are around other people who don't see, people with lower standards, who don't see what you want to accomplish for your child and stuff, they may make you feel like it's not possible. They may make you feel like it's not possible. Or you may feel like, based off of what you've been dealing with, that this is not possible. But what you're really saying is, my child can only go this high. And that's not, growth is unlimited. Right? So the goal is the goal. And your child will hit that goal. You put the right plan in place, you relax, you do these things that we're talking about today, your child will hit the goal. And they need a customized plan. A customized plan. Okay? So there's no time limit to a goal. And I'm saying this from personal and professional experience. I have accomplished many goals in my life because this is what I decided to do. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know exactly how, because you don't know until you start walking. You can put a plan in place at first, and then when you start walking, you get to see how everything's working out. So, and then you tweak it. That's why we do an update on the action plans for my students. I do that with their moms every month, because what else do they need? What did they master already? Where are they progressing? What new issue came up that we need to add to this action plan to come up with a solution, a plan for, right? So, but the goals don't change. The goals don't change. Okay? So whatever you decide that you want your child to accomplish, that's what they will do. So there's no time limit on a goal. That's how I feel. I've seen, and this is what I want to emphasize, is that the goal setting and achievement process, I've seen it happen time and time again, to know that there's a beginning part, then there's a middle part where there's an obstacle or things get tough, and the kids want to give up. They give the moms a hard time, right? And then that's like a wall. And it's like getting past that wall, or seeing beyond it, is the toughest part. But when you see beyond that wall and you get past that wall, when you get to the other side, it's like, wow, this was all worth it. This is what I wanted all along. Plus more, because growth is unlimited, right? So you can have I have students that first came to me and they couldn't identify letter sounds, or they didn't know, if they're older, they didn't know their sight words, or if they had terrible tantrums every time it was time to read, or they were breaking things in the house, or whatever the issues were. And then we put the plan in place, and then they trying to push back because they don't like all the structure. But I'm like, so so that's how I am. And people may kind of misunderstand me because I am tough, okay? But the thing is, when I say that's what enables me to stay on it until it gets done. I love my students, I love my kids. I love my students, I love my kids. But if I know that this is what they need, and this is not growing them, their life is not good right now. They struggling. They don't feel good about themselves. They don't have confidence. You know what I mean? They feel bad because they can't read, because they keep getting stuff wrong, because they keep failing tests, because they keep getting in trouble. I know that their life was never meant to be that way. So when I work with mom to put a plan in place, so I work with my husband to put a plan in place for my own children, right? For our children, I know that they're going to resist. I already have in my mind, so because I'm not going to then backpedal and then feel like what I'm doing is a problem. No, their resistance is the issue. How they feel about am I going to be successful? Am I going to mess it up? I'm doing good right now, but I'm scared that the other shoe's going to drop, right? I know that they're feeling all of these things. So their resistance is not really something that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about stabilizing them and continuing to have the same expectation, the same structure, and continue to teach them and coach them to help them push past this point, to where they get to the point where now they have self-discipline, self-control, self-motivation, okay? Self-awareness, self-accountability, and they feel good about themselves. So that's why I say, so what? So I'm late to your class because I didn't feel like getting up. That's unacceptable. You lose points. And what are the rules? And I want you to write about why it's important to attend my class on time. I'm hard on them because I need to get that thinking out of their heads. Okay? So that's why I say, so what? And they know one of my oldest female students, my daughter is the oldest. She's in high school. And then I have another one. She's in ninth grade. And I have a student who's in eighth grade. And she said, Miss Sharita is tough on us because she loves us. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not selling for less. No, because I know this is not what you need. And I could just say, this is what I tried, but it didn't work out. But that's not an option for me. That's not an option. Because when I look at you and I look at your mama, we going to do this thing. Okay? And I love y'all enough to get in your behind about it. And yes, I will call your cell phone. Yes, I will call your teacher. Yes, I will make you right. Yes, if you acted up in my class, I will have a detention for you. Yes, I do detention online. Yep, I do. I do. Because they know that I'm going to keep being there and I'm going to make it happen. So that's why I say, so what? You don't want to do it? So that's not what's most important right now. What's most important is your goal. What is your goal? Okay, what do you need to do to accomplish your goal? That's what we're focusing on. Right? Right, Tiffany? Did that answer your question about the time limit? That's right, Tiff. So what? So what? That part is not even important. And the other thing is when we, oh my gosh, this might be controversial too, but this is how I feel. So if a child is acting up and they're saying, I don't want to do my work because this and this excuse and this reason, and I don't want to listen because this reason, and this made me mad. That's why I acted up, and that's why I cursed, and that's why I did this, and da 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 da. If we talk about that and want to process through that, okay, in the beginning, because they have to understand and be aware of what they're thinking and what they're doing, but not. No, you don't have an excuse to do that again next time and keep saying the same thing and then next time and the next time and next time. And what we're doing by continuing to have this conversation with them and talk to them through their problems over and over, we are making that part of their mindset bigger and bigger. We are making it important. It's important that I didn't feel like coming today. That's why I didn't come to class. It's important that I was angry. When this kid said something to me, that's why I popped him in his mouth. It's important. You know what I mean? It's important that I didn't feel like doing my work. So I just wrote any answer down and didn't do my best. And I got it all wrong. That's important. Why? Because we keep talking about it all the time. So it must be important. You understand? So when I'm changing their mindset, we don't say I can't. We don't say I don't know. We don't say it's my ADHD. We don't say I'm distracted. Well, no, we don't say that here. Say I got this. If we take that out, we minimize and eliminate that excuse conversation. And then we replace it with something that's going to help them grow and feel good about themselves. So no, I don't spend a lot of time on feelings. Look, I'm not for everybody, y'all. I'm not for everybody. I'd rather invest that time getting their mind right so that they get to a point where they actually feel good. So what? Tiffany, you got me bugging out here today. I'm having a little too much fun in here today. I'm having a little too much fun, y'all. So trust the process. But I'm letting y'all in on how I'm able to trust the process. With so many things when it comes to children and personal life too. Same thing. When they told me that my second daughter was going to have preeclampsia like I was going to have preeclampsia and she was going to be born earlier than my first one. Jassy was in the NICU for a month before we brought her home. And then the doctor told me that. Like 15 minutes she met with me. And she was just like, well, you're going to have it again. And your baby's going to be born earlier. And that's just how it is. And I was so upset. I was devastated in the parking lot. I'm all crying and my husband hugging me and stuff. And then he was like, no, just do what you've been doing, right? That's hard to hear for a mom who's expecting. And then and he really helped me get it together. And then I just started thinking, what can I do that's going to help this situation? And I said, no, Maya's not going to be born earlier than 32 weeks. That's not happening. I'm going to carry her full term. I'm carrying her to 37 weeks. That's what I said. Then I worked on not being all upset, my blood pressure, taking care of my blood pressure, and eating and resting and taking calcium. Guess when she was born? 37 weeks. Oh, I'm hard-headed. I'm hard-headed. So I had to say with the doctor, so what? Whatever the goal is, right, Tiffany? When you say, is there a time limit to work on one goal? It's not about the time limit. It's about what the goal is. There's no time for a goal. There's no time. You can set a goal. You can want to accomplish something. It can happen right now when you thought it was going to happen later. You can set a goal and it can happen a little later on, but you accomplishing other stuff in the meantime. That's just, growth is unlimited. So that's why I'm hard-headed when it comes to my students too, because in my own personal life, whatever I want to accomplish, even if it's like at all odds, some of the students that come to me been in special education for years, and sometimes I talk to teachers and they say, no, I don't do this because these kids can't do it. They can't, so I have to do it like this. These kids can't, right? I know Tucker, we don't say can't in my program, so I can't relate to that. Okay? Whatever. It doesn't matter if your child's been in special education for a long time. Your child actually can and will, and that's what we focus on. That's what we make happen. Improve their reading level, read and function at above grade level, transition out of special education into a general education classroom. Yes, that should be the goal. It doesn't matter how long they've been there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your child was diagnosed with ADHD. So what? Isn't that? So what? We talking junk today, Tiffany. So what? So what? What they got to do it right now? He can't focus. Right now, he's not focusing. It's temporary. How can we improve his focus stamina? Teach him how to focus. Let's get it done. We got this, right? We got this. Yes. So, yes. Tiffany said, shaking my head. I don't like to hear that. Yes, that's the reality, right? I come across some awesome teachers, but sometimes I come across teachers who teach at a low level because they have low expectations for the kids and they don't challenge them, and because they think that they can't do much more. And then the kids think that too. But I don't let my students off the hook, because how you with me and you reading, but then in class you letting the teacher and the aide read for you. Cut that mess out. In my class, you don't get help. If I tell you to write on a topic, you have to write for the time that I say write. Here I go looking at my arm again like I got to watch, and I don't. You still do that, like, oh, what time it is, right? I tell my students, you have to write for that time. No, I'm not going to help you because I want to learn how you write. I want to see how you write right now. And I want to be able to monitor your progress. I'm always assessing my students, so I'm not going to tell you how to spell nothing or write nothing. I'm going to teach you and keep coaching you, and I'm looking at the progress as we go along. How are you writing for me? And then when you get in class, an aide is writing for you. Make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? So with that, the kids too, the teachers, and some of these teachers that I'm talking about, they expect less because the kids are showing less. But for me, I'm going to expect more regardless. And I want you to get it together, get in gear, right? So yeah, there's so many things. So trust in the process, stay on the goal, but relax and have faith that it's going to work out. There are two ways to accomplish a goal. One is to work so hard at it all the time and keep working and be stressed about it. And then when it doesn't work out, be disappointed and then give up. Or be real confident with it. Like I be telling my students that Miss Sharita always I always get what I want. So you definitely gonna be reading on grade level. And if you give me a hard time today, you must want extra classes with me. Because I'll call your mom, I'll text your mom, right? That's why me and the moms, we homies. That's why I be telling my students. Oh, okay, you don't want to do the work now. I guess I'll be taking away your game time. I'm going to text your mom and see when it's another time when we can meet together so you can get this done. Okay? Right? Right? So, relax about it. Relax. That's one way to fight it and everything and working so hard. Or the other one is, I got this. Of course this is going to work out because this is what I want. And I always get what I want. And it's what's best for my child anyway. My child was never meant to struggle academically their whole life. So of course it's going to work out. I ain't worried. I'm going to put my foot back. I'm going to lean back, put my feet up, cross my feet. You know what I mean? Chill out. Drink some tea while they over there working. I'm waiting for that breakthrough. I know what's going to happen. I'm not even going to worry about it, right? Make it make sense, right? that don't make sense. You're like, oh, Miss Sharita, you talked to my teacher. Now my teacher not taking it so easy on me. That's right. Get to work, boy. I love him. But that's the thing. So it's better to trust in the process and understand that it's gonna work out anyway. You don't have to stress about it. Stress just clogs it up like a pipe. Stressing about it and worrying about it and being frustrated, that just clogs it up. It's going to happen anyway, but that clogs it up. But when you relax and everything get unclogged, now you got to flow. And we got to do that ourselves and then teach our kids to do that. So if they bugging, they trying to clog it up, you got to step out of that and then get in your own little space where you know what's going to work. And they let them run around on a hamster wheel. And in the end, they got to do what you say anyway. That's the funniest thing. And then they got to do what you say anyway. Okay? Because you mama. All right? So I'm just going to go over it one more time and then I'm going to get out of here. I have an appointment coming up at 1:40. And then I got some other work to do today. Some final consultations to prepare for. And of course, the kid's going to be home soon. Maya was feeling a little feverish when she woke up this morning. So she is actually asleep right now. Or she would be, I would hear her in the background. But she is upstairs asleep right now. And Jazzy's at school, so she's going to come home. Okay, we get ready for Easter break, coming up. So we got some good, we're going to take them with, the medieval times. So my husband want to take everybody. We go there and then, have the show and everything. So the kids don't know yet. It's a secret. It's a surprise. Okay. So a lot of things going on. Number one, and this is about trusting the process. Thank you, Tiffany. I love you and you are beautiful too, sis. Thank you for always coming and hanging with me and chatting with me. Because like I said, we moms got to talk. You know what I mean? Or else we be thinking that we the only ones dealing with stuff. And the way that we see the crowd doing it is the only way. But no, we customize stuff here, okay? Trust in the process. Number one, believe in the outcome you desire. Know what's going to happen. Number two, don't get caught up in the moment of regression, of frustration when the kids try to backtrack or when they try to trigger or avoid, do what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Or fuss or complain or frown up. Don't worry about none of that mess. It's not nothing. It's still what you say. Number three, relax and take care of yourself. Don't worry. Don't stress. Don't clog up the pipe. Just relax and let it flow. Number four, from Tiffany, customize your child's action plan to make sure that you have a specific plan tailored to your child is unique. Your child is unique. It's not like everybody else's child. Okay? So whatever your child needs, that's what you decide and that's what you work with. Okay? And then the last one, celebrate the mini successes. Make the mini successes, little successes, and you keep accumulating them, turn into big overall success. Remember that. So even if your child is acting up and give you a hard time, but you see growth right here, you got to acknowledge that. You got to celebrate it, because that's like feeding it like a plant, giving it water and sunlight. And that's going to keep growing, and more successes are going to come. And then you have the overall success. Like, man, look where you were, look where you are now, right? And focus on that instead of focus on the temporary stuff that they acting up in, because then we're going to be feeding and watering and giving sunlight to that mess, and we're not trying to do that. Okay? Celebrate the many successes, all right? I had a ball talking with y'all today. Can you believe I was sitting here for a few minutes trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to talk about, and it took me a couple of tries to get to trust the process. So I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you have more faith in yourself and what you want to accomplish for your child, to understand that it's okay and it's right for you to want better for your child. And just trust in the process so that you don't give up. You know that that's all part of the journey, and it's going to happen anyway. Okay? And you got this. Okay? So I hope you got a lot out of this. I love y'all so much. I'll be back soon to chat with y'all when I get some more time, right? Believe in yourselves, believe in your children, and always remember that growth is unlimited. Peace. Bye, Tiffany.